Yo, Icon Nation, what it is? It's your boy Yurdy G.
It's your boy Nick. What's up, Icon Nation?
It's your boy Jalen.
And this is another episode of Toxic Icon Podcast. And tonight we got two special guests. The first man, he's like the Jordan of the drums. He's been all over the world. Probably with your girl.
Bars.
Oh, my girl ain't gonna like that.
We got Zach Allard.
What's up, man?
And of course, we have the most generous. And he taught me so much about all the extras to Horror Nights within like the past 2 days that I knew about, but I never looked into.
He knows his stuff.
Mr. Craig Towns.
What up, what up?
Appreciate y'all for doing this with us, man. I'm excited to have y'all on,
sir.
man. So we really want to get right into it, man. Halloween Horror Nights, the biggest, the baddest, the scariest Halloween event within the theme park world. And we got a plethora of haunted houses and ticket things and food specialties that they'll be doing. And we want to break that stuff down tonight and really get into it. So without further ado, Yurdy, what's the first house you want to talk about, man?
This breaks my heart because I'm going to Orlando.
So you want to start off with that? All right, that's cool. We can do that. It's
The
fine.
Evil Dead house. Like, look, once I saw that it was announced for LA only, I was searching high and low to find the cheapest ticket I can get to LA.
Man, it's crazy. We all have a group chat and have been talking about potential houses, potential things we wanted to see at Halloween Horror Nights. And what we got the very next day after we talked about it was an Evil Dead Rise announcement for Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood. So if you're going to Hollywood for Horror Nights, you will be able to go to the Evil Dead Rise house. I'm personally excited for this. I think this is going to be intense. Hey, man, y'all decided to go to Orlando, man. I'm going the other route, man. But I'm excited about this one. I think it'll be intense. I think it'll be a banger. And I think this, and I'm not trying to discredit some of the other ones we'll be talking about, but I do feel like this one is definitely going to be talked about and is definitely going to have some hype surrounding it.
I'm curious what they're gonna do with it because, like, I've seen like the movie, and like I feel like there's not a lot of parts that are like big part. Well, like first of all, I love the movie, but I'm not sure there's a lot of parts that I could see in a haunted house. I could totally be wrong. I'll definitely watch a video of it next week, but I don't know. I don't know.
Craig, what you think?
You know what? I really did like the movie. It was sort of like a throwback to what what horror looked like in the early 2010s and everything, with how much violence it brought, and it actually like reminded me of the previous Evil Dead movie, and you know what they accomplished with that in terms of violence, and like, you know, how they want to like really grip you and like have you in the action. But in terms of the house, because the setting of the movie took place in an LA apartment and like in the LA complex, and so I'm pretty sure that uh the folks over there in Hollywood can really, like, you know, put you in that environment, and that the house can really be uh something special. And I'm pretty much disappointed that they couldn't bring it to Orlando because I wanted them to, but I digress.
You would definitely think that Evil Dead Rise would be one that is at both.
Right.
Like, that's a no-brainer. When you hear that name, you don't expect that to be one that's just going to be in Hollywood and not Orlando or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, the fact that it only got Hollywood is interesting. Like, I wonder what really went into that. Jalen, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what it's gonna look like the design of it, based off the movie. So I think it's gonna be probably one of the top talked about ones, definitely.
I think the parking garage and the elevator are gonna play a significant part into the period piece of the hunt.
I like to see if they do anything with that peephole with the door.
Yeah,
that was like
cool.
Yeah.
If we get a scene like that, that'd be cool.
Like the trailer and everything. I just don't know how they pull it off. That's what I was saying. Like, I don't know if, you know, I'm sure they'll find a way, but
it's probably gonna be something.
It's hard to
It's
envision.
gonna be CGI, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right,
for sure.
right.
Oh yeah,
I can see that.
tons of CGI, definitely.
Right, I could see that.
Definitely. So I mean, talking about Evil Dead Rise and talking about the ones that everybody's excited for, we might as well knock this one out. We've known about this one for basically a whole year now. Chucky's Ultimate Kill Count, which will be a
It's
Hollywood and
Both, yeah,
Orlando.
it's at
Yeah,
both.
it'll be
That's
in
what
both. It'll be in both.
Yep.
So I'm personally excited for this. I know Yurdy told me this one was based off the TV show as opposed to the movies. So I think this one will be exciting, man. I'm more so excited to see what kind of actors they will get in this house. Is it just gonna be a bunch of Chuckies? Are there gonna be supporting characters? What's the detail gonna look like in this house? That's what I'm excited about with this Chucky house.
Okay. I think that if it's staying true to the TV series, it's only going to be one Chucky because at the end of season 1, there was multiple Chuckies because he got the cousin of Jake to finally kill someone. That way he could split his soul into thousands of dollars at one time.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, right. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the Chucky TV series.
Right.
He's in souls in $1,000. But as we get about I want to say 4 episodes in season 2, it's down to just him. So if it's true to that source material, it's only gonna be one Chucky, and then you might have a Tiffany here, a Glenn and Glenda here, and then you might even get Nika.
I'm just curious what the actors are gonna look like.
Yeah, I'm
Like what? Is it
yeah,
gonna be kids? Is it
Yeah.
gonna be dwarves?
yeah. Like, are they
You
gonna?
can't
Yeah,
say
that's
dwarves.
what.
Yeah.
No, you can't
They
say the
used
other
them
one.
before, so I'm just saying.
I'm curious. Yeah, is it gonna be like a
Y'all,
child?
Zach didn't mean any harm.
No, you can say that.
Yeah, you can't say the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, you can.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's true though,
Dwarves
because
is fine. You can say
Yeah.
that.
and I don't want a Chucky my size
Yeah.
jumping out on me
Yeah.
at a HHN
Man,
house.
look at that 5'9" Chucky.
Yeah, that's gonna throw me off. Like, why is he
Right.
my size? Like,
Right.
I'm not even scared no more.
Or if they're like on their knees or something, maybe.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it is.
Well, I know they've
exciting,
done
though.
Chucky in the past though, like with other.
Exactly.
Wasn't
So
it a mashup with
I've-
another? movie?
no, it was a Chucky house, I believe, but I don't. I've seen videos, but I don't remember what they did for Chucky.
It was just something random.
They might have had actual dolls in there,
That was
if I remember
hella dope.
correctly. But
Yeah, a while
I'd have
back.
to go back and watch. But I guess that's a possibility.
Okay. What do you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I want to know if it's actually going to be like a child playing Chucky, like an actual kid, or if they're going to have like an adult, but just like a little adult playing actually playing Chucky.
Hello Kitty mask.
It's definite. There are definite like multiple ways to pull it off. I feel like they will.
Oh yeah.
Anytime I tend to like doubt Universal when it comes to a HHN house, normally they usually end up pulling it off.
Well, they've hyped that one
So-
up for so long too. I mean, I
Right.
feel like it's
Ever
got to be
since last
something
year
good.
when they announced it. So,
Exactly.
Right.
So
So
I agree.
I don't know, man. What y'all thinking about in terms of? I don't know. I'm trying to think about which one we should go into next, house-wise.
I was about to say the weekend.
Nah,
Well, I'm
just
just
kidding.
saying how so
Last
much. I'm
year.
just saying
I
how
know,
so much.
right? But last year was so good. It's like, why not go into
I don't know. I don't know.
it? Let's talk about The Exorcist.
Uh,
The Exorcist Believer. Now,
I'm actually upset.
a
I'm sorry,
lot of
yeah.
people are upset, like Yurdy. Maybe not for Yurdy's reasons, but the main reason being that they are going to do a house about a movie that is not out yet,
Yes.
and a house
Why?
that's going to get released halfway through the event this year.
halfway. Yeah.
I'm personally excited about it. I think it's going to be another banger. I really thought this was going to be the one that did it this year that everybody would be talking about. Then they dropped Evil Dead Rise, so Exorcist, I apologize, but
You get
Yeah.
I'm kind of not tripping off y'all as much anymore, you know, but
It's just
I don't know.
dumb,
What do y'all
man.
think, man?
It's just dumb. Like the movie's not out yet. That's just like, hey y'all, we got the Scream 7 house. Okay. So y'all spoiled the movie already. All right.
Scream 7 coming out next year.
25.
25, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it go both ways. I feel like if you don't want a spoiler, if you really would like to see that movie before you go to Horror Nights, either go later on in the season after you see the movie or just stay away from that house.
See, that's the problem because
I don't want to.
yeah,
Right. I mean,
He's
I
gonna
wanna
be
stay
like,
away from the
oh
house.
well.
and then look, we're going the week before the movie comes out.
Right. So we getting spoiled either way because I'm going in it.
I'm
going through the house.
I'm going a week up.
pay
I feel like I
Right.
feel like they may not include spoilers,
They
like
should not.
a big thing. I feel like it'll just be like more like an Exorcist themed house with those because it's two girls in this movie. So
Right.
I feel like they'll just like highlight these two girls in like different scenes from the movie that might not show what happens in the movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Stuff you just expect to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
Yeah, like I feel like it's gonna be like, the movie's greatest hits in terms of that because they don't want to give the whole story away. They wouldn't be doing it for no reason. Then a movie releasing halfway through the HHN season, so it's like
Power of Christ compels you.
True.
So
True.
The power of this compels me.
I mean, what's exciting about that is that it's a good house if it's being done only 2 years later. They just did Exorcist House at Hollywood? I don't think it was at Orlando.
Like 19, I think.
Yeah, he was either right before the pandemic or right after, but they just did it. So the fact that it's coming back obviously means that this was an important house. It received great ratings. Like,
right,
give me another Rob Zombie.
They wouldn't be right. They wouldn't be doing it for no reason. That's all I gotta say.
I'm sad I missed the House Thousand Corpses house a couple years ago.
Yeah,
before
I'm sad I
started
missed
going.
Haunting of the Hill House.
No, that one was crazy. That one was crazy.
So I mean, Gertie, which one should we go into next, dude?
Dr. Oddfellow.
Okay, all right.
I've been following the lore lately about the stuff that I'm not familiar with. Like Dr. Oddfellow and Jack, they've been going back and forth for a while.
They have.
And Jack wants Dr. Oddfellow dead.
And those are Halloween Horror Night icons. So Dr. Oddfellow is also going to have a scare zone at Horror Nights Orlando, if I'm not wrong.
I think he's incorporated in all of them.
Yeah, I kind of think he's all over the place.
The main one is Shipyard, though.
Right.
Well, I think the house is going to be great. I think they haven't, I will say, I feel like Orlando is getting a clown house because of the tension that they caught from everybody last year when Hollywood got killer clowns from outer space and Orlando got nothing. So it's only right, because I wish that both of them would have had killer clowns. So I'm excited. that would be good
Back
too.
coming back to work.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But I'm definitely excited about Dr. Oddfellow. I think that'll be good. That'll be good. So,
the Legends House.
You guys can take that one away, and then I'll chime in with my thoughts. I'm
I mean,
excited about it.
I'm so
I want to
excited
hear
for
y'all's
Legends
thoughts
House.
about
Legends
that
Collide last year, man.
Yeah, that one was crazy.
That just blew my mind. Like the set design and
I think it had the most jump scares.
Yeah, the type of jump scares and the type of interaction that went along with it. That was like honestly, people for years that have been waiting for like a Universal Monsters house, and so to get that for the first time last year, it was like it blew people away, and me included, because how they incorporate all the monsters and how it gelled and how it worked together, and the aspect of it being a winner every single night. Like the winner changed. It wasn't a winner.
Different person.
Right. So, I just can't wait for Horror Nights to just blow my mind again.
And it was an extended story between both houses.
Yep.
Well, between both parks, I mean.
Right. If you went to both parks, the story would play on each other, and like it made sense. Like one ending would add to the next story, and it would make sense.
So I wonder if they're gonna do that this year.
I feel like they will. I feel like that was so successful last year. It's almost like, how can you not?
Right.
The Invisible Man better win.
Well, we'll see what happens. I think that's one house that last year's Horror Nights I saw no bad reviews about.
I'll be real. That was probably last year. That was my least anticipated one. I was kind of like, nah, like I'm not really scared of any of those things. But there's a room towards the end where they're all three in there: Dracula, the Mummy, and whatever else the other one was, and they all like caved into the room. and I was right in the middle.
That
They
was a
timed it
cool
perfectly
room,
that
yeah.
time, and I like for real like ducked all the way.
Right. You gotta listen. You had to get it
He
at
working
the
in the house.
listen.
He got
And
scared.
like
Oh, I
you
was
had to be
scaredy
the
cat,
lucky
bro.
person to get them
Right.
all at the same
Oh
time
yeah,
because
I
it
got
wouldn't
super
work all
lucky.
the time because a lot of people was moving through there.
Yeah, the other time
So
I
it's
did it, they were like all like lopsided and like it didn't work.
yeah.
But that second time I went through, it was
Telling
crazy.
you.
And I'm a
Sorry,
scaredy
y'all.
cat, bro. I like will jump at everything. So
I ain't jumping at nothing.
I did. I ain't gonna lie. We
Oh
turned
yeah.
a couple
Oh
of
for
corners
sure.
in that house. I jumped for sure.
right.
And
That
I
house
was
Like
at
you
the
gotta
back of the
really get
group.
me to
That
get
house
me.
was
You know what I'm saying?
intense.
It was
It was
intense.
intense.
But what I loved about it was the set design. Like we could have gone through that house with no actors, and Legends Collide would have murdered it on set design.
Oh yeah.
Like I thought it was great. So that gives Universal big shoes to fill for this next installment of Universal Monsters. It's not Legends Collide, but it is Unmasked, and it goes into like Phantom of the Opera, The Invisible Man, and
There's
who else is on
Hunchback.
there?
Hunchback.
Hunchback. Yeah,
Quasimodo.
that's gonna be a good house, man. Jalen, what do you think about that?
I'm excited for that one. Like you said, Quasimodo.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good house. And I mean, Orlando also has some much more original ideas that are not the IPs that are pretty intriguing. Like
The Yeti.
the Yeti, what's the other one? Darkest Deal.
Yep.
Yeah, Darkest Deal. That's like a vampire thing, right?
I think so. One of
Oh
them
no,
is
no, no!
like,
It's like a selling your soul type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That's
a
what it is.
jazz
I'm
player
sorry.
sells his soul
I'm
for
excited
fame and
about that.
everything. Don't forget about Dueling Dragons too.
Yeah, I just pulled up.
I'm not excited. I'm not gonna
Man,
say
I'm
I'm not
telling you,
excited.
I'm
That's
telling
giving
you.
me Sisters of
I'm
the
telling
Coven
you, this is a
vibes.
sleeper house.
So
I think it'll be cool looking, but I don't know.
It's gonna be trash.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Hey,
people
come
say it's
on.
gonna be trash. I'm telling you.
This is the biggest thing like the biggest question it posed for me personally was that we've all been to Horror Nights before. We know how busy Halloween Horror Nights gets. The description of that haunted house states that the crowds will have to pick their sides,
Right.
Curious what
and
that
as you
means.
go through, right, curious about what that means, and as you go through, you will basically be battling one another.
So let me
How are they gonna pull that off? You got to
So-
keep the flow going. Like it's too.
so
too
let
good.
me explain something about the picking side, the choosing side. Dueling Dragons was actually a roller coaster over at Islands of Adventure,
Right.
and so
Very
Classic.
good roller
there was
coasters.
two separate
Tracks.
Right.
two separate ride vehicles tracks. You got Pyrock and Blizz Rock, Fire and Ice, and so you had to pick a side, and then once you pick the side, you'll basically duel each other. You'll basically duel each other. Rides will go at the same time, but that was before they had to. Yeah, that was before Hagrid's. So basically, in a sense, they doing the same thing here, but same aspect, dueling, battling each other, and then
What?
it's gonna be a winner.
Okay, so I have a little bit more respect for the house because my brain working now.
Right.
So
All
I'm
right. What you
thinking-
thinking?
Well, so I'm wondering if you like.
They split the haunted house.
Well, I'm wondering about that, or if you just in your mind go like, "Damn, I want the red one to win," whatever. Or like,
Nah,
are they
I-
Right,
saying-
it's like you choose a path and then you
I
just
think-
go
I think they're
like,
splitting.
yeah.
I think they're splitting.
It's gonna be-
still
yeah, it's
the
gonna be
same
definitely
amount
a
of square
split.
footage, but like they're definitely putting more walls up for that specific reason.
Right.
That's what I was thinking because we all know, like within a haunted house, the flow is important. You can't get it backed up because then you back everything
Yeah,
else up.
Congo line
Everything's
going.
wrong. Exactly. So
Well, wouldn't that be like a cluster though? If they had like all these people, it's just like a conga line going through there, So like, wouldn't it be crazy if like
that
people
would-
were splitting it up? Like, where are they gonna meet up? Is it gonna be crazy at the meetup? Is it gonna be crazy at the exit?
True.
Right.
Like
it
what?
has to.
I
There
think the
has to be
meetup and
some
the
sort of a
exit.
meeting.
So,
Yeah, right.
because honestly, like the staff at Horror Nights and the security, they do a real good job with like
They
keeping the
those
flow
cones.
going because it'll be a house that have like a 60-minute wait when reality is like 25, 30. So,
How would that express thing?
but
Get it.
this is me going based on last year because they've been they move people really well even on busy nights. So, but I mean, it just depends on like the traffic. But I really
Stay
think
screen, baby.
it's gonna be like that. When to pick a side, it's gonna be like towards the beginning because they wouldn't do that like in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So, because that would just be one big cluster and it'd be all over the place. It would make sense. So,
True. I mean that The originals look pretty good this year. I feel like the Yeti will be more of a comical type of house. I think there will be some comedy in there, some comedic relief, like coming from more of the intense houses and things like that. I wasn't too
This is the one
pleased.
we all make fun of.
I'm not
Not
making fun of it.
necessarily.
I'm
It might
just
be
saying.
good. It might
I'm
be
not
good.
making fun of it. I think
I
it
don't
could be
know. It
decent.
might be good.
I just don't
I feel like it
get
could.
fear from a Yeti.
I think you
See,
say that until this big
just gotta go
8-foot
see
Right.
thing jumps out of you and you ain't expecting it, bro.
we said that about the weekend, and it wasn't even a fearful
Okay,
thing.
I did
but
turn
once
my
we went
nose up
through
at
it,
the weekend.
man,
I
I
did.
was bashing it in
I didn't
line, and
fear
then came out on the other end, and I was like,
That
bro,
was crazy.
I feel
that's
like
one of the best haunted houses I've been in. It was that good.
because I feel
man.
like this Yeti house gonna remind me of the Chupacabra house last year, like with
Which was
puppeteering and
real
stuff.
decent.
It was really
Real
good. Like
decent.
the attention to detail was like out of this world, and so and then Universal they do real good with campfire houses. So with,
See
with
what
camp
happens.
thing,
They
camp
should have
thing
gave us
houses.
Are You
So
Afraid of the Dark then.
Should have gave us
That's
Lady
all
Gaga
we
and
want.
Five
Yeah.
Nights at Freddy's.
That would've
That's
been
what
nice.
should have got.
Well, it's back too. That show's back. They
I
got new
know.
episodes and stuff. So.
speaking of Five Nights at Freddy's, I thought that was gonna be a house too,
Yeah, they could have gave us
but
that.
Speculation season is such an emotional roller coaster.
it really is because
People be ready
they
to
wait till
fight.
like the
Man,
last few weeks in July just to be like, oh, here you go, you good, there you
from
go. So,
January all the way up until the lineup is released, it's just emotions. Like you get excited about some rumors, and then you see another tweet from another credible source. It's like, oh no, whoever told you that rumor was playing you. Like that haunted house is not happening. That Lady Gaga rumor, y'all know, I
Man,
rode
look.
that one all summer.
that
I
the
was like,
visuals would have been wild.
I wanted
I ain't
like,
gonna
we
cap.
getting that haunted house. We
You
getting
know
it.
what? They should have gave us an American Horror Story house.
They've had one
Yeah.
before.
They have had
They
one.
did
No,
have
but look,
one.
but based on I want to say it was the season 9. It was basically the reboot
Right,
where
right.
it was like seasons 4 and 1 met up
Right, right.
because it was the Covenant
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
Murder House.
Yeah, I know what you're
Uh-huh.
talking about. Yeah,
Mhm.
that would have been decent. Yeah.
It would have been decent. It definitely would.
What y'all think about Stranger Things?
I'm excited for Stranger
Yeah,
Things.
I
Oh
am.
man,
I'm looking forward to it.
I think
it'll be
Vecna's gonna be
cool.
crazy in that.
Yeah, and they
that
did
would be
Stranger
good.
Things already a couple years ago.
But this is a
It
whole
was
new
good.
different experience
Right.
But
though.
this is gonna be different.
Because season 4 was way more horror oriented
Yes, it
than
was.
any
And
of the
Right.
other
Robert
seasons.
Englund.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
this one will
man.
definitely
And
this one will be
Vecna
like
was-
more in depth.
Horror,
Vecna is
horror
like
icon
Thanos.
right
Exactly.
there, man.
Yeah, he's like his own
Yeah,
horror
I
character.
swear, yeah, Vecna is the Thanos of the Stranger Things world.
Well, I'm about to get Jalen hype for a second because what you think about The Last of Us?
Boy, that's gonna be. I mean, I'm just saying that without. I don't even have to go just to know that's gonna be my favorite. I'm just because yeah, I'm so excited for The Last of Us. That's my that's
It
my
does.
favorite game ever, and I've watched the show, and so I'm just so excited for that.
If I see the hospital, I'm gonna lose my mind.
And
If
if
I
I'm
see-
not wrong,
If I see a clicker in there, I'm hoping
Oh
to see.
yeah,
I'm hoping
Those
to see,
definitely
gotta
gonna
see
be in
one.
there.
I'm hoping
Gotta
to
see
see
a
a clicker.
couple,
Oh, it's
you know
gonna
what
be
I'm
so
saying?
good.
and if I'm not wrong, during speculation season, that was the first rumor we got.
Yup.
Was
Yeah,
that
sure
other than
was.
Chucky being announced, like it was like right after Christmas, people were like, "Get ready, because we'll probably get The Last of Us this upcoming fall."
You know
Right.
how
Boom.
sometimes at the very end of the houses they'll have like a special character that kind of like chases you out a little bit. Well,
Right.
like so when they did the Haunting of Hill House, they had the tall man from that, and he like chased you out, and he's like 10 foot tall or whatever. I wonder if they might have like a bloater or something at the
That
end
would
of
be so cool.
this that'll chase
Oh,
you
my-
out.
bro.
That'd be crazy.
Awesome, yes.
Just a big
Yes.
dude,
Yeah.
big suit. That'd be nuts.
I hope they have just like the environment is what I'm looking for. I hope they have like the actual just like fungus on the walls. And
Well,
stuff.
do you
That'd
see
be so
that they turned the little alley that's supposed to be like in the New York area? They turned it all into like a Last of Us area. So like
Yeah,
with
like
the
the
food and
food-
stuff.
food,
yeah.
yeah,
And they
food
got
and
the
drink.
ration
scenery,
cards.
Yeah.
with
I'm
the
definitely. I
scenery.
heard
It'd
they're
be
gonna have
nice.
like their own Last of Us like food too.
Yeah, yeah, they
I'm
do,
definitely-
yeah.
I'm definitely buying some of that.
Yeah,
stuff, for
right,
sure.
yeah. Yeah, that'd be
Some
dope.
butter beer and a Fedra card.
And order a pizza fries.
Yeah,
Telling
I'm
you.
big
Hold the
myself.
pep.
Them
Nah,
things
I'm
up.
excited though,
I'm
man.
definitely
I
excited
think
for
that'll be good. I think
Man,
that'll be.
I
really
just
good.
got hyped talking
I
about
know,
it.
dude. I'm
That's what
excited,
I'm
dude.
saying, man.
I mean,
We got less
I
than
feel
2
like
months.
there's one that we haven't spoken on that's a bi-coastal hunt that's going to be at both events. And I can't
This
think.
one, I got Blood Moon Dark Offerings. is on the list.
That one should be cool. I think that one will be dope. That one's just in Orlando, I think.
yeah.
But I'm excited
Right,
about
because
that.
y'all
I
got
think
the
that'll
Terror
be good.
Trim out there in LA. And that's basically like a giant scare zone.
What do y'all think about the Terror Tram?
That's
Not
ba-
even just this year, but just the Terror Tram as a whole, the concept of the Terror Tram. Like,
It is awesome.
I think it's gonna be good.
Well, because you
Now,
ride it, then you get off, and then it's a
Yeah,
whole new
because
Right.
ride.
it's a
because
whole
all
new
it is
thing.
like it's the backlot tour, but Horror Nights themed.
Right,
And
right.
if you really think about it, it's a way for Hollywood because they have a smaller amount of houses than Orlando. So
Yeah,
it
because they
is
got
a
like
way.
7, right?
I think it's 8,
Yeah.
7 or 8.
7, yeah.
But it is a way for them to incorporate way more ideas within their event. You get like 30 seconds of this movie, a minute of this movie, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
going through the Terror
Yeah,
Tram.
because they got
I
more
think it's a
real
good
estate. Yeah.
concept. Yeah, I think it's a good concept. Now, this year it is Exterminators. I'm not big on the bug thing
Yeah, 'cause
too
that
much.
Bugs
It's
Last
basically
year
like
was
Bugs eating
garbage.
alive
Yeah.
last year. It's
That was
like,
terrible.
And Bugs eating alive last year was gross.
yeah, I
It
was
was
like,
good,
I was
but
like,
it was
yep,
nasty.
nah,
I
I'll
didn't
catch
like it.
y'all later.
It was whatever they had on the floor that grabbed my ankles.
Listen, bro.
Nah, bro,
bro.
I almost ruined somebody's scene for real. Like, I was
almost
not
put my
feeling
pimp
it.
hand up.
So I mean, with that being said, we've talked about this lineup. I think everybody has very high expectations for this lineup. What are some tips y'all could give to anybody who's never been to Halloween Horror Nights before? Anything you could think of. There's no such thing as a dumb suggestion. I'm trying to help some people out because it gets bigger and bigger every year.
Buy an express pass.
Buy an express
Come on.
I would
pass.
say,
That's the only thing I'm gonna tell you. Buy an express
Don't
pass.
go to Halloween
Yeah.
Horror Nights without an express pass.
I would say definitely do your research like early before you're going, just so like you know what you're getting into. So do that for sure.
If you don't do an express pass, do stay in screen. Stay in screen. You buy that. You buy that daytime ticket. You get to go into the parks early. You know what I'm saying? Get a couple rides out the way. Then you go to like a designated area, like at 5, like around 4:35. They start rolling people daytime guests out the park. Then you just go to like one of the designated areas because there's at least 2 houses in those areas you can line up early for. And so I believe like 30 minutes or so before the whole event starts, before they let the people outside the gate in, you get to do those 2 houses first. And then I think that's like the best strategy to do if you don't do express. But I just say that in general because you get those 2 houses out the way. This because that's what I did last year. I got the weekend and Legends Collide out the way first.
Those
So-
are
they're
two
right
big
next to
ones,
each
too.
other.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Those are big ones, and so
Right.
you do those. I did those, and then like I basically did all the other houses. Rose and Rise 2, saw Nightmare Fuel, and I was basically able to do at least like half the houses, if not all of them, again. At least like
So
2 times.
start
I've
at the
never
end
watched
and
the show.
then the front.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely
That's it.
start at the end.
Start at the back,
Yeah.
then work your way to the front.
Go to the back of the park. It don't matter if it's Hollywood or Orlando. Go to the back, work your way up to the front.
No,
Everybody goes to the ones at the front
Yeah.
first.
Right, because
Go to
that's
the
the
back.
first thing
It's
they see.
natural.
So
Yeah.
my most important piece of advice: if you are a first timer, do not wait until the last minute to buy your tickets because this event will sell out weeks before the day you want to go.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
think about it.
Even if it don't sell out, the prices go up. Like
Yeah, the
crazy.
prices do
That's
go
what
up
I said,
because
do
leading up
research.
to it for sure.
yeah, I bought my express pass I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. It was $125 at the time.
Where is it at
Now,
now? Like
for the
180?
same day, it's over 200.
Yeah.
And and the admission for the event that I paid for was only 102 with the taxes. The express pass is more than a ticket.
Right.
Right.
So please buy your tickets as quick as you can because if you, like I said, if you buy your flights, your hotel, get your rental car, all that, and then you can't even go to the event because you decided to procrastinate,
You can't.
your trip is ruined.
Yeah,
You
never
have-
felt a pain like that before.
Man,
I'm telling you.
you cannot afford to procrastinate because you're gonna at least be spending like almost $1,000, if not more, if depending on what you're doing, because you gotta get your flight, you gotta get your hotel order, gotta get the tickets because like me personally, from personal experience, my hotel the last 2 years was sold out. So you gotta and this is for like this is even like in September. So even in September and through October, especially through October, because that's when it really sells out. Because of course people gonna go during the month of Halloween. So, you gotta make sure everything in order, make sure you got everything down, because if you don't, you're gonna end up like, stressed out and don't want that. Don't want
Right,
that.
because nigga,
I
what we get
agree.
our flights in March, April?
Yeah. Yeah. We really,
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you know Horror Nights, if you know how to navigate and plan a Horror Night trip, you will really start locking stuff down that spring or early
Or
summer.
the summer,
Like,
yeah, for sure.
you really don't want to wait till the last minute.
Man, like think about last year, we bought our flights in January.
Yes.
Yeah, we really locked everything down early. My biggest advice would be to piggyback off what Jalen said, but do your research. Learn which park you want to go to. Don't buy any extra things past a fast pass on your first year. Don't pay the $500-$600 to do the RIP tour your first year.
No.
Go to the event, see how you like it. If you love it enough, if you end up loving it as much as we do, then maybe worth it. But like, if you just kind of like to go, be in the atmosphere, have the food, the drinks, and do a couple of houses or something like that, spending that money on like RIP tours just isn't even worth it.
And like
Yeah.
something else, like from the first year I went, like I was so rushed into getting in the houses and everything that I totally disregarded food and drinks in that, and
Right.
didn't even get to have all the dope stuff they had for that. So
Right, you
like,
missed out on the experience.
exactly, I totally like. I still had a great time and I still enjoyed it and still wanted to go back every year after that and everything. But
Right.
like whenever I went last year and I got to have all the food, the drinks, and like the whole experience and take my time, and enjoy it all, and have 2 nights to do everything, like
Right.
I had so much better of a time.
That's another thing. Do at least 2 nights, even
I
if
think
it's
it's a good
even if it's your first time. Because one night you're not gonna get, like, let's be real, you're not gonna get all that accomplished in one night.
You
may get,
Especially
like,
not all
4
those houses,
houses.
the shows, the food, the tribute store, none of that. So do at least like if you're gonna do 2 nights, do one night for like the houses and the shows. Get a couple drinks and food in there, and then the second night you can really like take your time to like what it's gonna be like, to let it all, like, take it all in, go through
Truth.
go through the houses again, relax, so you ain't got nothing to worry about now, so you can just really like sit back and enjoy yourself for real.
Get physical tickets too.
Right. You want some sort of like memorabilia, some sort of a souvenir.
Yes, for memorabilia. And what if your phone dies?
True.
You have the express pass on your
I had
phone.
a problem last
Right,
year with
yeah.
the signal.
The
like,
only con I have with the physical thing is that I had it last year. The first year I went, I had mobile tickets on my phone, and the second year I had physical. But you have to pick up the physical ones,
Yeah.
or at least I had to. And we stood in line for an hour and a half just waiting on them. That was after the event had already started.
No, so look,
I prefer.
you can pick up the physical tickets anytime. You don't have to go the day of.
Right.
So
Well,
like,
the problem is I got there the day
yeah.
of, so like I didn't have much. Yeah.
Okay,
so
see,
you had to
see,
spend
I'm
that
flying. I'm
money.
flying in on Thursday. I'll
Right,
get
there
there.
you
Facts.
go.
I'm
I'll
flying in
get
on
there
Thursday
Thursday.
too.
I think 6-7 o'clock in the evening. So I'm just going straight from the airport.
Pick them up and then
Yep.
and go back to the
Yeah,
hotel.
that way I don't have to
That's
worry about it
smart.
on
See, I
Friday.
ain't
That
never
makes
thought about
sense.
that. See now, yeah.
Yeah, it took us so long, and we definitely missed out. Which we had express, so we got everything done anyway. But we spent so much time outside the park in line waiting to get our ticket.
It was like if I don't do it Thursday, I'm gonna go Friday morning. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
right.
you just go in the morning
uh-huh.
and like.
But I'm not gonna pay the park twice. I'm gonna Uber from my Airbnb.
Yeah,
Nah, dude,
that's a good idea.
wear comfortable shoes.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Like wear some shoes
Please
that you would
do.
seriously work out in, that you feel comfortable wearing, because like
A lot of walking.
a lot of walking, and
Especially
that
in
walk
LA.
back to the car after it's over with.
Oh yeah.
That's the worst.
Don't
part.
think you're gonna come up in there dripped up with some ones or
Nah.
something on. Nah.
Don't plan on doing
Put them
anything the
sketches
day
on.
after.
Something.
You could be
It's
recovering
Vans
the next
time
day.
for me.
Right.
I could
Comfortable
not do it
walking
in
shoes,
Vans.
man.
I did Vans.
I know
last
you did.
year.
I can't
That's a
do Horror
lot.
Nights in Vans. There's no way. Well, I mean, like, I'm just so excited about Horror Nights, and I know we've mentioned, last year and previous years, but what are you guys just all-time favorite Horror Night houses? It could be more than one. It don't even matter.
Texas Chainsaw.
I was about to say, yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Scarecrow the Reaping.
Scarecrow
Oh,
was good. Looked
Scarecrow was
good.
dope last year. I wish it was in Florida and not just Hollywood.
I know we talked about this before, but one of my favorite movies is Sinister, and they had a house, a Bloomhouse house, a few years back where that was a section of it. And I think that's one of like the scariest movies of all time. Super underrated, and
Right,
like
right.
Great
Scott
movie.
Derrickson
I
directed
love
it, right?
I'm not sure who
I
had
think that was him.
had Ethan Hawke was the main dude in the
Ethan
Yeah.
Hawke.
movie. Yeah,
Oh,
and that
okay.
Ethan
movie.
Hawke was in the Black Phone
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, that was the same director as
That was
Sinister.
definitely
And
Scott
Black
They
Phone
Derrickson.
was
Yeah.
in Blumhouse last year.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
real good.
They should have got rid of Freaky.
I've seen the videos and I've seen the videos of the Sinister House, and it looked crazy. I wish I could have experienced it myself, but I am glad I got to experience Texas Chainsaw
what?
because that was crazy.
They should do a Tales from the Crypt house.
That's
They should
potentially,
do
yeah.
that.
Yeah, would be
It
good.
would also be cool if they did like, well, so I have two that I've said they should do because they had the Simpsons there. It'd be dope. Probably wouldn't be very
Treehouse of
scary.
Horror, yeah.
Treehouse
It
of Horror.
probably wouldn't be
That'd
very
be-
scary, but I'm a big Simpsons fan, and I would just geek out the whole
Man,
time.
look.
Definitely.
There were actually like, people talking about like rumors of like, the Simpsons ride being like having like a Treehouse of
Oh, they
Horror
change
over
it?
like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
change it for like,
Yeah, they could play it off the
Yeah,
ride.
dude.
Sideshow
Yeah.
Bob trying to go
Yeah,
see
yeah,
crazy.
they
that'd be
could
dope.
do
But then
man.
also they could do Goosebumps too. Would be another like family types haunted house. Like it
Right.
could still be
Disney-
scary,
Goosebumps would be
but
There's
cool.
always
Disney
one
owns Goosebumps now
really.
because they own Fox and
Fox,
all that.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
well.
They rebooted Goosebumps.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
You know what I just thought of would be a good house? The Goonies.
Oh yeah, that could be
Oh,
That would,
dope
that
too.
would be
Yeah,
that would be a
good.
great house.
that'd
They
be a
should-
fun one to
they should
see.
do
Yeah.
a good
This is
one.
why I feel.
Love
That's
that.
kind of like why I feel bad for the creators and everything, John Murray and them, because it's like you got all these ideas, you got all these IPs, you gotta choose, you gotta like contemplate and choose just from you gotta make up your mind. You can't
Yeah.
include everything. You know what I'm saying? That's why like some people feel left out with you know. Evil Dead in Hollywood. Hollywood got some houses. That's exclusive to them. So do Orlando, and so it's like they they don't and like Hollywood per se, they don't have a lot. They don't have as much room as Orlando has. That's why they can't like do a lot
They
more.
got way more
But
real estate.
I know, but like that's a whole half of it's a whole working studio.
But
So
I
it's
feel
like,
like that's why the
you
Terror
know,
Tram is a thing, though, because of the
right.
fact that half of that is a working studio. Movies are being filmed. It's like, since we can't do as many actual houses, why don't we use our backlot that we aren't using during horror nights, turn that into the Terror Tram and give them as many movies as we possibly can to
So
put them in.
yeah.
Because last year they did, was it Bates Motel they had out there? I thought that was really cool.
They always had the house
So-
out there, so I think
Right, the houses
Yeah,
out there,
yeah.
yeah. And then they did the Purge a few years ago, and they just turned that whole
Which was
Terror
supposed
Tram
to be
into the
Scream.
Village.
Oh, last year they did Us.
Right.
Yeah.
Too.
Us
Last year they did
Us and
Us.
Nope.
Yes, that
Yep.
was good.
You know what?
So
What if Universal did a straight up 80s and 90s themed horror nights for both parks?
just straight up slashers.
Yes.
That would be great.
That I feel like they definitely should. I almost feel like they should do it for an anniversary or some sort, like
The 35th.
You know
like
what? I
the
think they
35th or something.
they
yeah.
did something like that in 2007 because remember they had Jack and then they had Leatherface, Freddy, and Jason. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
honestly I think 2007. Even though I didn't go that year, that was way back. That's one of my go-to years because like you had all those the three top slasher movie villains and whatnot, and then you had Jack in the middle. It's like that's you know
Give me a sleepaway camp house.
That'd be good.
Be dope too.
I really, like the rumors really kicked up this year, and I personally feel like Five Nights at Freddy's would have been
Yeah, I would have been
hard.
Yeah. Oh my
That would have
God.
been hard because they are really good at murder and stuff like that. You know they're getting ready to kill Chucky. Anything with props and like doll related things or anything like that. Come on, man.
I know they was gonna like
Like,
them puppets because they always do good with
yeah, exactly.
in terms of that.
I think that's gonna be dope. I think it's gonna be real good. So we'll see if we ever get something like that. We didn't get it this year. Maybe it'll show up next year. Who knows? I think one of my goated Halloween Horror Night houses. I know I mentioned Scarecrow the Reaping, the weekend. I don't even really got to talk about that but it was that good, you know.
Oh yeah,
They had the black guy
it's
that was
up there.
breakdancing.
It's
La
up there.
Llorona was dope too,
Oh yeah.
Man, look.
and they've done that a few times, but La Llorona is hard every
And you
time
know
they bring it
them
out the
them
vault.
Mexicans out in LA, they don't play that. So it's
No,
like, you know what I'm saying? They're like, no,
Poltergeist was
no,
hard.
no. So it's like, he's like, they telling you.
Yeah, no, Poltergeist was hard. Alice Cooper had a house some years back. I think 2011 was a real go-to year.
Oh yeah.
Like that 2009 through 2012 sector of HHN, they had some killer houses right
You
there.
know, something else they
I'm telling
could do that would be dope, or even like, so I'll say The Conjuring, right? But like they could literally do anything. They could base off the movies. They could have an Annabelle house. They could have a nun house. They could do
Right.
all this
That'd
stuff.
be
But like now
dope.
Six Flags got The Conjuring, so I wonder like what the deal is with the rights.
Maybe that
there.
played a factor into them not doing
Six
it.
Flags did lock down the Conjuring.
They should
didn't
do a Malignant house.
I never watched that movie. I know, but
I was
I'm
gonna
gonna
say,
watch
y'all
that
ain't
later.
Hey,
I'm gonna
never
actually
seen
watch
it.
that later this week because
Hey,
I was
the
like, you know what,
Malignant-
bro, let me
oh
go
my
see
God,
this.
That's
bro.
great.
The Malignant is one of the best horror movies I've seen in a while.
I heard mixed reviews.
It's really good.
It's dope.
I'm gonna
Like-
have to see about that.
Like I to this day, I will never, ever, ever not feel like Evil Dead Rise is the perfect horror movie.
Okay.
Zach, like I don't agree with
Man,
that. You know what I said?
I mean, all
In-
ideas are on the
In terms
table,
of the
man,
aesthetics of it being a horror movie, like there's really no weak points.
right. I get it.
Not at all.
He's like, nah, bro.
Man, when you got movies like
Nah, you capping.
Hereditary.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
no,
man.
That's
That's
a
no.
That's my
look.
favorite
That's
scary
really
movie
good.
right now.
What if they gave us a Hereditary house and a Midsummer house?
So
Whoo!
something I feel about the Hereditary, well, really both of those movies is that they
They're
don't
both
have
on A24.
correct, but they neither of them have jump scares at
That's
all.
what I like
That's,
about it.
that's what I'm saying.
Right, but
It
how to
messes
make a
with the
good haunted
mind.
house, though, is what I'm saying.
But see,
'Cause you
okay,
gotta
That's
think
that
outside the
psychological
box.
horror
Okay, so
thing,
look,
You
man.
plan on doing
Think
a
about
house
it.
with no jumps.
think about like, okay, remember when the mom got possessed?
Right. Well, that's
She
the
was-
scariest part of the movie, but it's
Yeah.
the last 5 minutes of the movie.
That's
True,
wild.
but
They cranked it
it's
up
gonna be a
notch.
lot of that. Like,
Oh,
they
sure.
might have like a see-through floor or something where
That's,
you just walking. Next thing you know, you just
Oh, yeah, that'd
There
be
you
you
go.
can
crazy.
see you can do a lot with that. See, it's like the last 5. That's the thing about A24 movies. Like at least the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie, they crank it up a notch. So it's
I
like,
mean, look what they did with X.
right, for
Yeah.
sure. That could be a decent one, but then that probably wouldn't be appropriate for.
It
like,
would
a-
not be appropriate. You got a naked old lady who just sex
Universalism
crazy.
Right.
They are not going.
Give
it to me. These new age horror night fans will be very offended.
Right.
The old school fans will be, oh, it was
Not
dope,
my
it was
HHN,
great."
not
Hey,
my-
it's okay to not be offended, kids. You don't have to be a part of a social group.
You know what would be another good house? Another good house would be Orphan.
Oh, yes.
An
yes.
Orphan house would be
Yes.
hard,
decent.
man. And
It
would.
I would definitely get like double express to go through it a couple times.
Orphan is like an underrated gem.
It's so
Yeah.
underrated, man.
It
It
is.
is,
You
it-
talk
it
to a lot
is.
of people about it. Either people haven't seen it or they just didn't like it. But I'm like, why not? Orphan be catching,
The second
some
one was.
slack.
Yeah.
But
I think that's why, man.
Orphan one.
Yeah.
Orphan
Paramount
one.
Plus.
Orphan one.
They knew they were doing.
I think
I
the Shining would be a great house.
They've
should
done
have-
that before.
Right.
They have.
Yeah.
It's
But
been
you know
talks
what?
about them bringing
That
it
would-
back.
Back,
You never
yeah.
brought
That'd
it
be
back.
good.
They could do a Doctor Who house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, Doctor Sleep.
Doctor Sleep.
Doctor Sleep.
Yeah, I'm about to say
Yeah.
Doctor
Doctor
Yeah,
Sleep.
Doctor Sleep. Yeah.
They need to do an
'Cause
It
I feel like
house.
Doctor Sleep was just as good.
It was.
as the show.
I did. Doctor Sleep was good. It
I
was
said
good.
Doctor Who. I'm thinking about TV.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who?
That was a good TV show.
Yeah.
They need
I
to.
think one of my favorites though, Dead Man's Pier from last year. I'm just gonna throw it out.
Oh yeah.
That was good.
It was
They
great.
gotta have a
They didn't
sequel
even have
house.
to have no actors in there. It was that hard.
Yeah.
I was in there
over
fangirling the
here
whole
like
time.
this
I probably
the whole
annoyed
time.
Yerdy and them while we was going through. I took my time. I know I backed the whole flow up at that house. I took my time, looked at every little detail. I was
Right.
like, yeah,
I
I
was
love
cruising
this.
through that thing, walking so
Yeah,
slow.
dude.
I
Everything.
say they should bring back The Walking Dead, but theme it off of Fear the Walking Dead.
That will be good. I don't know. There's so many different ideas. Like, real quick, what do y'all feel about music artists getting a haunted house because this is how I feel. I'm cool with it. After they proved themselves last year with The Weeknd, I'm cool with it. I don't mind it.
It depends on the artist.
Yeah.
It
It really
definitely
does.
depends on the artist because what I don't want to happen is like, oh, Halloween Horror Nights 2024, Ed Sheeran gets a haunted house. Like,
Right.
no,
Like, come on now.
no,
Like
no.
like an aspect of their
Yeah.
music, or like their, or like the music video's got to be at least like some horror element to it. You
Yeah,
know
it
what I'm
has,
saying?
it has to be an
yeah.
artist that's out there also.
And that's why
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie,
He
man.
goes the extra mile in his roles and his videos.
Right.
Right. I argue with a lot of people this summer on like Horror Night Twitter and the Facebook group that we're all in or whatever because I love making them people mad. But yeah, true. X. But look, man, I was really pushing the Lady Gaga idea. I was pushing it.
That'd be cool.
And
A lot of
out
people
there.
was actually, because she was
It
tweeting,
should
tweeting about
happen.
it. She was like,
Exactly.
yeah. So it's like,
And
is
then
it
you
really
get the
happening?
Other,
You know
you
what
get
I'm
the other
saying?
people like, oh man, y'all got The Weeknd last year. Now y'all know how to act. Y'all think we gonna let?
The Weeknd
We
house
might
was
get Lady
dope
Gaga.
Right. Like,
for
did you see
the-
what they did?
For
Goddamn.
the two good people. The Weeknd house was extremely dope.
It was. It was good. And if you hadn't listened to that album, if you go back and listen to it, it made sense.
Yeah, that's just like for first
It made
timers.
sense.
I feel like if you're not familiar with any one of these TV shows or movies, which I don't see how, give yourself time to catch up on them, and it's going to enhance the experience.
Yeah, go watch them. Go watch them. Go learn the storylines and things like that, so you can understand what's going on. As
You
you
won't
go
be
through it.
confused because the houses ain't gonna like give you no backdrop. They just gonna drop you up in there, and
Y'all
they
gonna
gonna
be
expect you
in
to
the
know
story.
everything. They gonna be like, oh, here you go, drop you in the setting. There you
Be
go.
confused
You
at
know
The
what I'm saying?
Exorcist, though.
I was about to say.
That's what I'm saying.
Except
That, on the
one.
other hand,
Except that one.
That's just, I feel like they know what they're doing, but I just don't agree with that.
It's happening at this point.
I know.
We'll see what happens, man.
I'm
I'm
gonna-
excited about
I'm
it,
gonna see
though.
the
I'm not
movie a
too
week
worried.
later, like, oh, okay, I remember that.
I see what this scene was about.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that can make the movie better for you, though. If the movie's not the best, that could make it better. It's like revisiting your Halloween Horror Nights experience with it. Might make you appreciate the movie more.
Yeah, that was that jump scare they built up to 6 minutes ago.
Right. I also feel like the merch this year is just on point. Like I don't think I really seen any merch that I was like, I'm not really feeling that. Like, I think the merch is
So far, yeah, it's decent.
so far so good, but a lot better than last year. I look forward to
that
it.
white shirt Exorcist one. I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah,
I know
that
Yurdy
one-
was gonna say something about it. You know what I'm
That one
saying?
might not get my card to swipe, but
All
like,
white shirt, no, can't do it. I know I'm
getting
gonna
sweat
spill some shit.
stains.
So
man, spill something. Yeah, exactly.
Sweat
Man.
stains on the pits.
that ain't gonna look good.
All right, y'all. So look, we winding down. How much money y'all trying to spend down there?
I can tell you
I'm not
right
trying
now.
to spend any.
I'm
tell
trying to
you
spend
right
all
now.
of it beforehand and
That's
nothing.
That's
Right.
what I'm saying.
Man.
Jalen, how much you trying to spend, dude? Give us a ballpark answer.
I don't know. I mean, because I'm planning on buying some merch, so that's probably definite. And then food, yeah, and
That's like
probably
that's a
some
good
drinks.
200
Yeah,
I'm gonna say,
right
I'm
now.
gonna say 300,
yeah,
350.
yeah, 300, probably 350.
Because I'm getting some shirts.
I'm gonna try and stay under 400.
And the
Yeah.
merch is
my
like
plan.
35, 40.
That's my
yeah,
plan.
I mean, yeah, that's the plan.
I'm not gonna
Man.
go over it all. Yeah, I am. I'm not going over it all.
Right.
My bad. No, not at all. But yeah, under
We'll
400.
see.
Okay. Hey, y'all. This was a good one. Hey, Icon Nation, we really appreciate you guys sticking with us.
Appreciate y'all for watching, man. Listening.
Please subscribe, tell a friend, comment, like the videos. Let us know what you want to see and hear. Just,
Merch is on sale.
right now.
Hoodies and t-shirts.
Please, like I say, subscribe. That way the channel can grow. That way we can provide better content. But until next time, this is another episode of the Toxic Icon Podcast. And as always, stay toxic.
All right.